Kenyans have been so busy with this DP Ruto manenos that they have failed to realize something very significant that has happened in the country. Yeah, and this significant thing has taken place in the August House, in Parliament. Now, immediately after the elections, Kenyans were able to see that actually Parliament was a rubber stamp. This is the same Parliament which quickly passed very unconstitutional laws to do with the elections. Yeah, immediately after the first election was annulled by the Supreme Court on 1st September 2017. They rushed to enact laws, controversial laws, very unconstitutional laws, which were designed to protect the president. Yeah, as we went into the rerun of the presidential race, yeah, ordered by the Supreme Court. Well, the very significant thing that has happened is that this Parliament is definitely no longer a rubber stamp Parliament. Yeah, things have changed, and they have changed very, very dramatically. I will not say that Parliament has changed from a rubber stamp Parliament to a jungle. Yeah, what I will say is that Parliament has changed from a rubber stamp Parliament to a cesspit of poisonous snakes. And I mean that. If I can give you a heads up, I can tell you that the budget proposals by Henry Rotich, they are not going to sail through. There's going to be a problem. Many of those budget proposals are going to get shot down by the legislators. And you know that if the budget is not approved by Parliament, you know that the country will ground to a halt, because there will be no authority to spend. And without authority to spend, the government and the country cannot run. And so I'm guessing somebody may have to use state machinery to force through that budget. Yeah, because as I've said, this Parliament is a cesspit of the most poisonous snakes in Kenya. Yeah, poisonous, of course, to the executive and to the Jubilee agenda. And now what has made things even worse is that this Parliament is running scared. Yeah, many of the legislators are frightened. They are spooked. They are spooked by the current fight against corruption. And that's because many of them have been involved in shady deals. And therefore they expect to be picked up at any time. They are looking over their shoulders. They are not sleeping too well at night. That's for sure, as I've said in an earlier recording. And now they have started using their collective power to address this fear, this great fear facing them. Yeah, the West Mugirago legislator, a man called Vincent Kamosi, who by the way is also a lawyer, has tabled a motion, yeah, to discuss this business of people being arrested on Fridays or during weekends or on public holidays, which is of course very unconstitutional, but has been going on. And these legislators have not seen it until now when it's affecting them. Oh boy. It is unconstitutional because when you arrest somebody on a Friday, yeah, it means they're going to spend the whole weekend in police cells, yeah, until Monday, when their lawyers can now start running around trying to get them released. On a weekend, they cannot appear in court. On a weekend, you cannot get an order from a judge to have them released. Indeed, on a weekend, you can't do anything. Yeah, same with a public holiday. You can't. So what that means is that those people who time their arrests for this particular time, yeah, are of course interested in making sure this person suffers. Now, according to the laws of Kenya, a person is innocent until proven guilty. I may be wrong, but I believe France is the only country in the world where people are guilty until proven innocent. Yeah. But for the rest of the civilized world, people are supposed to be innocent. A suspect is supposed to be innocent until they have their day in court and you prove their guilt, which is what it should be. Because this law, quite rightly, anticipates many things which can go wrong with a very innocent person, okay, who is made to suffer and they're innocent. For instance, mistaken identity. You can be picked up and mistaken for somebody else, and you suffer and suffer and suffer, and by the time it is discovered, that actually you're not the man they were looking for, you have really, really suffered. Yeah? And suing the government these days, the government which ignores court orders, is a waste of time. Now, interestingly, this motion has received massive, solid support from right across the political divide. Amos Kimunya of Jubilee, and the legislator for Kipipiri, says, or rather urged the legislators to be very quick to take action. They should not wait to be picked up and to suffer in police cells a whole weekend before they correct this thing. And emphasize what is already in the Constitution, in sections of Article 49, which allow a suspect to be released on bail, even a murder suspect. Another legislator, from the NASA side, a man called Makali Mulu, who is the Kitui Central Member of Parliament, did not mince his words. He said this business of arresting people over weekends, on Fridays or on public holidays, are signs of an uncivilized country. In other words, a country operating jungle style, jungle laws. Then a man called Junet Mohammed, who's very well known, is the Sunna East MP, minority whip, and very close to His Excellency Raila Odinga. And indeed, he has been a victim of this. He spent 4 days in police cells at Pangani, also contributed to the motion. The long and short of all this is that the MPs are taking action. Or maybe I should say, they are taking precautions. They are taking precautions in preparation for the inevitable arrests, the arrests that will definitely come. Because in the fight against corruption, it seems the executive is very determined that nobody will escape from their net. And these arrests are going very far and wide, right across political affiliations, right across the political divide. So no MP is safe, and they know it. Now, of course, the members of parliament are absolutely correct. This is very unconstitutional, arresting people on weekends. Yes. You should not make people suffer before, you prove in a court of law, that actually they're guilty of what you're accusing them of. The truth is, arrests have been used by the executive, for, right since the beginning of the Republic of Kenya. They have been used by the executive as a tool to spread fear, as a governance tool. President Jomo Kenyatta in Kisumu in 1969 told Jaramogi Oginga Odinga on his face that were you not my close friend, I'd have ordered for you to be picked up and locked up today, right now. Now, for those who doubt just how close Jomo Kenyatta and Jaramogi Oginga Odinga were, there's been a recent revelation from a man called Murumbi, Joseph Murumbi. There is a book that has been released, of Murumbi writings and interviews that had never been made public before. And in one of them, Murumbi describes how Jaramogi was very generous to Jomo. He says during the Lancaster House talks, the talks for independence in London, Jomo was the only person who was always very broke. And Jaramogi gave him, not even lent him, gave him a grant of 3,000 pounds. That was an absolute fortune in those days. And Murumbi very sensationally says in those writings that Jaramogi never made it a secret where his money came from. And of course we know where his money came from. It came from the Soviet Union. He was Russia-backed. So Jomo was very fond of Jaramogi. Anyway, I'm digressing. This thing of arresting people, on weekends, and indeed even arresting people, has been used as a tool by the executive. Because arrests are for criminals. They are for people who have committed a criminal offense. But the executive has been arresting people who are against their governments. Indeed, people who do not share the same political views as their government, which is just crazy because you're supposed to be a democratic country. Free speech, yeah, multi-party democracy, yeah. You see, it's okay to have a different ideology. It should not be taken as a threat to the security of the state. It should not be taken as a threat to the executive. Yeah, that's the truth. Now, but my beef with MPs is this. Why bring it up now when it's affecting you? Why did you not bring it up when this thing started last August? Well, we know the answer. We know that our legislators are very selfish. Rather than look at national interests, they first look at their own interests. Yeah, making sure that they have hefty pay perks, yeah, and benefits at the expense of the taxpayer, the voter, the people who elected them. And the problems of the Mwananchi are an afterthought. Yeah. But now that this thing affects them, they're very quick, yeah, to table a motion in parliament. They're very quick to take action, yeah, because they're involved, they're affected. Oh boy. That is Kenya for you. Until next time, this is Kshs Kumekucha.